Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We have the pleasure of having two of our team members with us, Savannah Dill and Isaiah Donley, who will be presenting on struggling to get Power BI up and running. We're going to be showing you a Power BI portfolio. And as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And we do encourage you to ask questions during our presentation. So please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will answer them at the end of our session. So now I'm going to turn it over to Savannah to kick off our presentation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. Glad to have you all. Just starting off, I'd like to start up with some introductions. I know some of you in the audience know Isaiah and I, but some of you may not. So just starting off, my name is Savannah Dill. I'm Power Platform Consultant here at Innovia. I do things, all things Power, so Power BI, Power Apps, the whole Power Platform. And I've been with Innovia now for about a year. So we're learning every day and just getting better and better. And part of that will be the Power BI portfolio that we show you today. And I'll let Isaiah introduce himself.
Definitely. So just like Savannah, I do all things Power. So that's, Power BI, Power Automate, apps, pages, anything with that Power prefix in front of it, we kind of dive into. I've been with Innovia for about 6 months now. So still, fairly new to the Innovia family, but, I love it a lot. But yeah, I'm really excited just to show you guys what we have as far as like our offerings go in Power BI, really fun stuff. Savannah, you want to hop into accounting to start?
Yep. Can you go to the next slide?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So before we dive in, I want to kind of give you a little preview of this Power BI portfolio and explain what exactly it is. So the Power BI portfolio that we are going to show are intended to be a modular department-based set of reports in Power BI that adhere to your business practices and needs. And you can choose from one or many pages from each report that are fed off of a singular data set. And the pricing is shown here. So currently, we have the pricing structure of $2,500 per one report or page. For 5 to 8 reports, it is $1,900 per page. And for all pages, it is $17,500. Power BI is a business analytics tool that allows you to take your data to the next level. We'll be showcasing some of its features today. But the biggest thing to take away is that Power BI encourages interaction. And some of those interactive features are the idea that the pages are meant to be dynamic. So all elements on a page are clickable. For example, on the AR report that we'll show you today, if you click on a customer name, all the invoices will react to that customer's name. And there are filter options through slicers and page level filters that we'll also be showing today. So those are some of the things that people like Power BI for. Isaiah, if you want to go to the next slide. So here is the bread and butter of what we're going to be shown today. Like I said, these reports are meant to be modular. So not all of these pages will adhere to your business, and that is all right. And so, you can pick and choose. Maybe you want a few pages from accounting, maybe you want some from inventory, and maybe you want 1 or 2 from sales and marketing. These can be mixed and matched depending on your needs as a business. The data set that these reports are built off of primarily were built to connect to Business Central SaaS, but they can also be connected to NAV and Business Central on-premise. All right, and now we will jump into the individual pages. Now, I'm not going to go over all of these pages in details, in detail, but we will kind of show a preview of what is, included with each of this department-based model. So starting with accounting, we will dive into the aged receivables report. And this page is intended to give you an overview of AR, and it is completely interactive and breaks AR into categories. These categories can be customized to fit your needs as a business, or they can stay within the standard 30, 60, 90 buckets. Like I said, each page is interactive. For this webinar, we are not showing the interactive features, just screenshots. But typically, if you were to click on one of the bars, like say if you wanted to see age 90 plus, the biggest bucket in this screenshot, the visuals or tables in the bottom would react, as well as the cards in the upper right hand, upper center of the page. So that is aged receivables. Aged payables is the flip side. It is very similar, also utilizing, different visuals and cards and tabular formats. Another note is if you are seeing something you like and maybe something you don't like, we can talk about the idea of customization. So these pages can be customized to either, change a visual out for something else if you have a preference. We also do include branding in the deployment of these reports. The next page in the accounting bundle is GL balances, and this page gives an overview of GL account balances as of the last refresh date and time, and it breaks down all balances based on account subcategories and balances. There is no date slicer on this page, as you may see. It is intended to be a current snapshot of the chart of accounts in GL account balances. All right, and receipts pending invoice is the next page. This page reflects items that have been received from vendors with unprocessed invoices, and it is intended to show outliers that are preventing purchases to go to accounts payable. There are some slicers on this page. I believe it is the first page we've shown with slicers. Slicers are the drop-down boxes that you see. This can be done in the drop-down format, or we could change it to a list view depending on your preference. All right, and the next two pages kind of go off of the GL account balances page we showed earlier. It is the income statement and the balance sheet. I know these are kind of like the holy trinity of accounting. This kind of just gives you a deep dive into your income statement, and it allows you to break down your chart of accounts further by showing you all income, cost of goods sold, and expense account category types. There is tabular data, as you see on this page, as well as a waterfall chart, and we will also see that in the balance sheet. All right, so yeah, the balance sheet is the flip side of the income statement, except now it's just going to show you the assets, liability, and equity account category types. All right, and now we are going to move into purchasing. We will start with purchases by vendor. This page is one that compares to the previous period. So we have some interesting features on this page. It's primarily tabular, but we also have a top 10 vendors button. Isaiah, I don't know if you want to hover over that one. But when you click on that, it will show the same data you see on the main page, except it will show you your top 10 versus all up. This page, is intended to show all purchases made, broken down by vendor, purchase amount, and purchase amount compared to the same period last year. It gives you a purchase difference between the different periods and what that percent change is. This is intended to show behavioral changes in spending year over year and highlight any anomalies to, maybe raise a red flag. Open purchase orders is a great page. On this page, you see all of your open purchase orders. It is built with the expectation that expected receipt date field is being utilized. If not, that could be a customization. And like the other pages, we have slicers and some visuals and cards. All right, and the last page in the purchasing group would be the value of open purchase orders. So this page allows you to see all purchase order details by year, month, and item category code. It allows you to see which items are coming in and its value based on item category code, and responds dynamically on the surrounding visuals if year, month, or item category code is clicked on. All right, and now we will jump into inventory. Alrighty, the first page in the inventory bundle would be item profitability. The item profitability page shows which items are most profitable based on the sales and cost amount from the item ledger entries table. It features mostly tabular data once again, but there's also some visuals and slicers that allow you to slice and dice your data depending on, whatever it is you may be trying to narrow it down to. And the next page is inventory valuation. Before I talk about this page, I do want to mention really quickly as well, a lot of these pages do have tabular data, and with that comes your columns and your rows. One thing with Power BI is you can sort them, based on ascending or descending, and you can do that by clicking on the little down arrow that is on the top of a column, and that will sort ascending or descending. Isaiah, if you could just kind of hover over where that drop down sort arrow would be if you were in Power BI service. Yep, so if you would hover over, there would be a little caret, and if you click that, you could sort ascending or descending if you're looking for certain values. So the inventory valuation page enables users to evaluate inventory based on its value and quantity on hand. The inventory with zero value table allows your business to identify items in the warehouse that have no value due to user input error or no cost association. Like the other pages, there are a healthy mix of visuals, tabular, and card data, as well as slicers to help you. Inventory aging is the next page, and this page is intended to give an overview of inventory and how items have aged. This page, like the others, is interactive, and it breaks aged inventory into categories. Like the AR and AP pages, we can adjust the buckets to kind of break away from the standard 30, 60, 90 model if that is something your business is interested in. Low margins is the next page. And this page allows you to see net profit margins that are below 50%. The low margin percentage can be easily altered to adhere what your business defines as a low margin. Depending on your industry, your standard for low margin may be different. The report is currently set to display margins less than 50% as low. But as you can see, once again, there's a good mix of tabular and visual data, and these can be altered depending on your preference. All right, and inventory by location is the last page in the purchasing group. The inventory by location breaks your remaining inventory quantity down based on location. It does this in a variety of ways, including a table with tabular data and 2 pie charts showing remaining quantity by location and item category code. All right, and now we'll hand it off to Isaiah to do production.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now? Savannah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to go over production and then also our sales and marketing offerings. So just like Savannah mentioned, I just wanted to touch on a few things. If you do see something that you like, but you would like something tweaked, for your particular use case, we can do that. We can customize a particular offering to meet your use case, or we can also just, give them to you out of the box. So this first one's going to be a production overview, and the big focus with the production offering is for it to be forward-looking, right? Meaning that we look at expected versus actual labor costs. We look at expected versus actual production costs, and the idea is that you're able to plan for what you have coming down your pipeline, and then this gives you the visibility to plan what you have coming down the pipeline. Here you have those 2 graphs, expected and actual labor costs here, and expected and actual production costs there. Once again, it gives you this ability to look forward into the future to see what your expected, production or labor costs will be, in those upcoming months. Up top here, we also have those slicers that you guys saw on previous pages. So you're able to filter this data by month, year, and also product. So you could, choose a particular widget, whatever it is that you'd be making, and you can look forward in time to see, okay, what is that expected labor or production cost for this particular product, coming up. The next would be the production order table. So this is a tabular view of that first page, right? And just like Savannah talked about before, on these pages, you'll have a little caret here next to these fields that allow you to filter, from A to Z or ascending to descending, just so you can look at it, clearly. You also have the same filters that you had on that previous page with month, year, and product, but the idea behind this table is, if you don't want to look at a graph, you want to see things more granularly, you can then look at this table to then filter down on, whether it be a status like finished or firm planned, or particular product, like bicycle or front wheel, and you can filter down and see like the actual records, for that data. So it'd be very valuable. Our next page is our labor report page. So this is going to give us capacity by work center. And just like we talked about, this entire production report is about being able to look forward in time. So you'll see these two top graphs are allocated capacity. So based on what orders are firm planned, what allocations do we have filtered by month or year for a particular work center, right? So you're able to see, okay, well, in this work center, we have this much capacity already allocated for, we can fit this much, or maybe we need to move some things around in the future. But once again, it gives you that ability to look forward and see, okay, what kind of capacity do we have coming up? Do we have enough capacity to fill some orders that we have coming in? This bottom graph here, what is giving us our consumed capacity, right? So this would be, you know, instead of forward looking, now we're going to look back and see what we've already done, you know, and you can also filter this by a particular work center. You could also filter this by product, month, or year. So those two top graphs, once again, give you this forward-looking ability per work center. That bottom graph is going to give you the ability to look back and see, you know, what's already been done. And just like that table before, you'll also have this now in a tabular view. This is once again, so you're able to look at that data in a granular fashion. If you want to, you know, filter down by a product, if you want to filter down by month or year, now you have this ability to look at the individual records that make up, you know, those graphs and those figures in that previous page, right? Now you have this ability to now look at things granularly and see, okay, you know, what is happening on, you know, that record level. Our next page is our throughput reports. Once again, we're talking about being able to look forward. So expected production cost per day, expected production revenue per day. Also that average throughput volume per day. This ability, once again, to look forward, we found a lot of our clients who are in distribution or manufacturing, they really like this ability to be able to look ahead in time just so they can plan, you know, the orders that they have coming through their pipeline. Throughput would be another metric where it's also valuable to look ahead in time, right? So you can see, okay, we have this much production coming up, but we can now look at it in dollars, right? We can now look at it in units instead of hours, which is what the capacity report gave you. In the same fashion, the throughput table is going to give you that tabular table, that granular data that you just saw in that previous slide in graph and chart form. But now you can once again isolate a single record or investigate a group of records that you might not be able to, you know, get visibility into by looking at the charts and the graphs. So that's production. Now we're going to go into the sales and marketing. Our first page is our sales by states page. And you'll see that this page has tabular and actual visual data like charts and graphs. So the really cool thing, Savannah mentioned it before, all these pages are extremely interactive. So if I were to click on this January bar graph, that's net sales by month, over here in this table, I would only get those sales from January. If I were to click here, the top 3 states by net sale, if I were to click Illinois, that table and also this graph would give us all the sales from Illinois and so on and so forth. And that's a really cool thing about Power BI. You're able to interact with the data in a way that, you know, gives you insights that you might not have gotten before, right? Because now you're looking at different fields as far as like, you know, states or the month, or now I'm looking at, you know, particular customers. Now I can kind of like, you know, drill down on a particular value to see, okay, what's actually changing this overall, you know, summary. Our next one is sales by customer. So this is going to be a more isolated view of sales, but you have a tabular visual of customers, and you have their net sales for the current year, their net sales for that same period last year, and then you also have a column for difference and percentage change. You also have 2 buttons up here that are the sales by customer and top 5 customers. So this first tabular visual here is going to give you a list of all your customers and their sales compared to last year. If you click on this top 5 customer button, it's going to shorten that down to the top 5 customers, and it's really valuable if you don't want to have to scroll through, a long list of records. If you just want to see the top 5 customers, if you just want to know, what's the, the 99th percentile, right? Then you can go here and just click on that top 5 customer. In addition to the buttons, we also have filters on this page as well. You can filter or drill down by customer. You can drill down by year. You can also drill down by month, right? Once again, anything I click on would change all the visuals. So including this card here, if I were to go top 5 customers, it would give me the net sales of the top 5 customers. If I were to go top 5 customers here, it would show it here in that tabular visual, and also in this visual graph to the right of that table. Our next one and last one, I'm pretty sure, is our open sales orders. So this gives us, once again, the amount of open sales orders that we have. Also, it gives us the top items sold in those open sales orders. So once again, if you were to click on tuna, it would show you the amount of open sales orders that are directly related to that product. Same for all the other products here. So they're all interactive, they're all linked together. And this tabular visual is this visual here, but in that granular form or fashion where you can kind of isolate down to a particular record that you might want to look at specifically. And that is it for production and sales and marketing.
All right, at this time, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. If you would like to, you can pop one in there now. Can you put the pricing up again? Yes. All right, another question would be, how can you purchase these report packs? You can do that in a variety of ways. The easiest way would be to contact your customer engagement specialist, and then we could set up a discovery call with you and Isaiah and I, or Isaiah and I. You could also reach out to Isaiah and I directly, and we could connect the dots for you. The fastest way, though, would be to reach out to your customer engagement specialist. All right, and if there is no other questions, we can turn it back over to Angie.
All right, thank you, Savannah and Isaiah. Appreciate going through all of this for us. I hope everybody got some valuable information out of it. To remind you, we do have more upcoming events, and you can visit our website at innovia.com/events. And we do have some training workshops available. You can visit that page at innovia.com/workshops. We have a variety to fit your role. So check out the ones that are right for you and your team and get registered and signed up for those. If you haven't heard the latest Innovia Conversation podcast, we have a library of podcast episodes for you to listen to. So you can check out our podcast page at innovia.com/podcast. So browse our selection and subscribe so you'll get notified when those new episodes air. We do have our customer conference information up on our website. You can visit our conference page at innovia.com/conferences and to see all the other conferences that we have for 2023. All right, well, I just want to thank Savannah and Isaiah for the presentation. And for everybody on our webinar, or if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out to join us. All right, well, we will see you soon on another Innovia webinar. Take care, everyone.